I have a good one for you today, guys. A friend of mine sent me this image, and it goes over the benefits to a lower frame rate. This is chock full of very interesting facts, and I became eager as hell to share them with you. So without further ado, let's begin. Lower frame rate benefits. Slower, steadier, and more stable/reliable. Now, I will say that for the most part, this has been true in practice, and I will not deny that doubling a frame rate is a difficult task, especially to try and maintain it. However, 30 FPS is not slower. It's less responsive, but faster? That's not exactly how it works, and even if it were, why would you want your games to run slower? Easier to follow and keep up with. Okay, so you're going to take the last part of the first benefit and make it its own thing. This is one of those things where people make something up and claim it as a fact when they don't even have any evidence to back it up, and even if they did, it wouldn't mean anything. A similar one to this is that 30 FPS is more cinematic thing. That doesn't make any sense, and even if it were true, what in the world does it matter? Provides movie-like cinematic quality for better storytelling. Oh my god, shut up. Like I said, I knew this was going to happen too. I didn't know it was going to come so quickly, but I knew this was going to be incorporated. And this annoys me, because it's one of those non-arguments. Saying something ludicrous like this doesn't prove anything. It's like saying, I like the visuals of PC more than consoles. It's more luminescent. This is stupid. Firstly, there's no proof of that in the statement at all. And even if it were true, so what, you idiot? Makes the graphics look better by making them appear more of a challenge to render. What does that mean? Graphics, view distance, and pop-in is not tied to frame rate at all, so I don't know what else to assume this guy means by this. Is he talking about how 30 FPS isn't as smooth, so it makes the game feel like it's working harder to run, as opposed to a smooth 60 FPS game, which makes it look like it's having no issues? Again, how is this a good thing? Maybe I just don't understand this one. Allows developers to focus attention in more important areas, such as gameplay. Now, I totally understand this one. When it comes to consoles, developers have to try to make the game look as pretty as possible, try to make a great story and gameplay mechanics, as well as make the game stable. 30 FPS is a great way of doing this. However, recently all I hear is that games on consoles are looking great, running like crap, and playing like crap as well. Just watch Yahtzee's review of Uncharted 4. He talks about how the consoles are so weak that they focus more on just Nathan Drake instead of interesting gameplay. But what do I know? It's a PlayStation exclusive. For now. It doesn't make you dizzy, doesn't give you a headache, doesn't make you sick. Okay, buddy. Now, I'm not the sort of person who gets mad when I play games at 30 FPS. I prefer them not to be, but if I'm playing games with my console gaming buddies, I never complain about frame rate. However, frame rate giving you a headache is person to person. My best friend told me that he can't play games at 30 FPS because he gets sick of the low frame rate. And there's a lot that it could be. It could be an unstable frame rate, which gives me a headache too. But for you, it could be a low FOV. Console games tend to have a very low FOV, and mixed with the unstable frame rate, this could suck. But again, it varies on the person. However, I gotta tell you, my eyes start hurting much faster after playing games at 30 or below. Looks like a game instead of a cheap soap opera. Does this game I'm playing right now look like a cheap soap opera? Seriously, this is another one of those 30 FPS is more cinematic non-arguments. I've also heard that 60 FPS makes the game look like it was filmed on a GoPro, and let me tell you, this is incorrect for two reasons. First, GoPros have a terrible fisheye that's worse than any field of view I've ever seen, and a low FOV is more common on consoles. Secondly, the developer decides how the camera moves regardless of the game or platform. And I don't know a ton of indie devs who do this, so prove me wrong, please. Requires less power and is more energy efficient and environmentally friendly. Oh my god! Okay, I have the perfect counter for this one, and it's equally as stupid. PC games are mostly digital, meaning no plastic and polycarbonate is wasted or melted down. No dangerous chemicals are released into the air by digital media. And what? It requires less power and it's more energy efficient? Every one of these reasons are non-arguments, just made up crap that is so stupid it works. None of these are even backed up at all, like no attempt to do so whatsoever. Offers more of a challenge to the player in fast-paced sequences. Okay, wait a minute. So first, you said that 60 FPS was too fast, which made things less reliable. I can also assume that since this was literally said in the first benefit, it probably means that to you, faster is unfair. All of a sudden, 30 FPS is faster, but it's not unfair, it's more challenging. This is starting to contradict. I trusted you at first, but things aren't adding up now. Makes you appreciate the games more instead of just the graphics. So I said before that 60 FPS doesn't do much to enhance graphics. It can make a game look more dynamic, but it does not improve graphical fidelity. But the thing is, if this was true, then why is it that console developers come out and say that they strive to make their games more about graphics because that's what sells games? If they didn't care about graphics so much, I would think that you'd see higher frame rates on consoles because there would be more room to work with, but no. This doesn't make sense. It makes more sense that they stretch the graphics as far as they can go and let the frame rate suffer because of it. Point invalidated. Prevents players from becoming too fast at a multiplayer game and making it no fun. This one is actually the dumbest on the list, and I'll tell you why. Console gamers are all on the same playing field. So if a game is locked at 30, they're all locked at 30. Same if they're locked at 60. Nobody's gonna be faster than anyone else because the game is locked at 60. I think this was more of a jab at PC gamers all having different hardware and making one superior to another, giving them that small advantage. But then again, I could be giving this guy more credit than he deserves. Increases player immunity to lag. Aww, I remember when I was a console gamer, I'd be playing a game and all of a sudden there'd be a frame drop and I would blame lag. Poor naive me. But seriously, this isn't true. Lag is a latency drop caused by interference from something somewhere between you and the servers. 60 FPS is more prone to a frame rate drop than 30 FPS is, but this is due to a lot of things that can be blamed on the developer and the level designed, not the frame rate. Okay, so I'm going to show you guys one more. If PC is so good, why haven't they released a PC 2 yet? PC 0, consoles 1. Oh god. Okay, here's the reason. A console is not upgradable. It's not something you can purchase and change. It's something that you have to live with until the new one is released, which is fine, but that's why they come out with new ones. Whereas for PC, we can upgrade. I can take my PC that I used back in 2003, upgrade it for $300, and use it for a few more years and upgrade it again. The other thing is everyone's hardware is different. So my PC beats a PC that my friend built even though he built his after mine. I spent more, I got better parts, and my PC is not as good as the guy next to me because he just updated his processor and graphics card. There are no large full steps to PC gaming. I don't have to buy a new PC every 5 years, and I can upgrade whenever I want. And even though the computer has been around far before any console has ever been made, I still have a superior machine and nobody decides what's in it but me. This is why there's no PC 2. Microsoft makes Xbox and distributes them, numbers them. Sony makes PlayStation and gives them a number. I make my PC. Nobody assigned it a number because they don't need to. It will never become obsolete. Consoles will. The end. Requires less power and is more energy efficient and environmentally requires less power and is more energy efficient and environmentally